Let's see, I had another question. Please comment on what to expect 2022 regarding police policy as it pertains to melanated people in America. Right? What can we expect 2022 regarding policing measures, right? Things that had us all up in arms about in summer, right? Well, police brutality didn't start in 2021. So, but we got nice measures of what can be deemed pacification, and then we got silence. Don't know how much legislation we got. I don't think we got much. But, you know, how many people change their minds, we don't really know. So, what does the Oracle have to say about this? Duanite. Sebek Hetep. Let's talk it over. Let's talk it over. Talk about it. Right? Make sure y'all take Sebek into trance, right? And ask this question as well, right? Let's come on the other side with some answers. But just off the top, communication. You know, communication on the positive side. On the negative side, right? Because, you know, Sebek is the trickster, right? Sebek is the trickster. Even though we see him Hetep here, we talking about the energy of Sebek, right? Can't be a Hetep reader, right? As my teacher would say. You know, so, you know, it's possible that Sebek energy could be a matter of, you know, Sebeking us, right? What are you doing when you Sebeking us? You are, you know, you lying. You could be, but, you know, on the positive side, it could be, you know, coming together, talking about it, right? Maybe trying to open the way to better relations, possibly. Let's see. See what the E King got to say. Open stress, closed. Open stress, close. Close. Open stress. Open stress. Close. Open stress. Open stress. Okay. Okay. We got the 62 into the 44. 62, the second line stress. Talking about he goes for the ancestor and is met by the ancestress, right? You go to talk to one, but you get met by the other. The other one comes. You go to meet one, but the other one comes too. Say, how can I help? Right? 62. 62 is a symbolism of something that is weak internally, right? Or I should say strong internally and weak externally, right? The two strong lines on the inside, right? Held in check by 4, right? 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. Weak lines. The weak element or the subversive element, could say, right? The negative element is holding in the positive element. You see this when you're in a situation where you don't have much power, right? Where you know, your power is even, you know, negated by something else, someone else. It's going into the 44. 44, coming to meet, right? Coming to meet. This is the weak or the dark element, right? As they like to say in the I Ching language, the dark element rising into the hexagram from the bottom, right? We have all positive lines, but in the bottom, we have the rising of the darkness, right? Over the dark line, right? So perhaps we'll come sit down at the table. That could be one way it's going to be interpreted. And then the 44 is sometimes, you know, 44 can be boisterous, right? Can be an element that comes in right? The analogy that you see very often is that of like a loose woman, right? Coming to meet is the 44, right? And yeah. So let's see what Shechem talks about. This, let me let y'all know that this right here, right there, there's the E King Praxis, and that's the newest book that Shechem made on the E King. But this right here, this is the OG, right? This is a series of lectures on all 64 hexagrams, right, and their lines, right? So this is deep. This is real. This is basically, I'm talking about a lot of things regarding the various hexagrams and lines, and there's a lot of deep information here, but let's really quickly get into it, right? So this is speaking about the 44. This is one of the correspondents of the 44. Right, let's go from the beginning. The 44th hexagram is dealt with by authors of the Wilhelm and Baines edition in a curious manner, so that the main idea is not presented in its proper place. There are a number of things that are said in the text that don't equally apply every time you get the reading. For example, it says, this hexagram indicates a situation in which the principle of darkness, after having been eliminated, furtively and unexpectedly obstructs again. I'm not really sure what that word is right there. It's kind of typo. Again, from within and below, right? I just finished talking about that. This is one of the correspondence of the 44 that may not apply to every question, meaning where applicable, the 44th hexagram will mean that some incorrect conduct or some incorrect emotion or some impropriety that has been eliminated returns again. This often is the case in dealing with certain negative elements in one's personality. Another idea is expressed is, of its own accord, the female principle comes to meet the male. It is an unfavorable and dangerous situation, and we must understand and promptly prevent the possible consequences. Right, so the 44 has a negative connotation on it, right? 44, if we take that right there, right, that as the major keynote of the overall hexagram, now we apply it to the question. Please comment on what to expect regarding 2022 regarding policing policies as pertains to the melanated peoples, right? We get 62 and 44. So we can expect it to come back. This is something that's not going away, right? An element that has been eliminated, really it hasn't been eliminated, it's just been swept under, right? Because we saw that no real legislation came from anything, right? What happened last summer is that what was revealed is a lot of the way that the policy is run regarding us. They don't, there's a lot of things, in terms of the policing of us, like what's being uncovered? A lot of the corruption is being uncovered. How many times you go to YouTube and get, videos of, cops doing nasty things to people that look like me and you, and just because they look like me and you, right? We see that. It's visible. It's right there, right? And so, in order to stop that, there has to be a changing of the guard. There has to be a changing of minds, right? There has to be legislation in order to get this, because it's just good old boys at this point, right? And they had a crisis situation in all of us, doing this riot thing, that happened. But they pacified it. That's what happened. It got pacified. They sebeked us, right? They said, oh yeah, don't worry about it. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. They told us whatever we told. Let's give you a holiday, Juneteenth. Yeah, we'll make it a holiday. Slaves were duped into still being slaves for years after the slaves were set free. We'll make that a holiday. And you'll accept it because all you want to see is, some kumbaya, right? All you want to see is the light. All you want to see is the good that happens finally, right? That's like, what happens when the victim, has been being victimized by the abuser for so long. Eventually, the victim doesn't want to see any real consequence, for the abuser. The victim just, wants the abuser to treat him right finally, right? That's what's happening, right? And that's why we accepted that BS. Say it like it is. We accepted that it wasn't nothing. There should be more, right? There has to be more. It has to be people losing their jobs, like people in top positions getting out of there, being replaced. There has to be, legislation, viable, real stuff that pertains to our people in terms of how laws and sentences, sentencing is dealt with, right? How, punitive measures against our people, they got them prisons filled up with us in slavery, Alright, on and on and on. So that Sebek, looking at the I King, right? That Sebek is not necessarily a positive Sebek, right? That Sebek is saying that, yeah, you're going to be Sebeked, right? If it was positive, right, how would it look, this reading, if it actually was saying that they're going to do the right thing in 2022? Well, it would probably say Ma'at. Probably said Ma'at. It would probably said Amen into, Ma'at, or into Ose, or into Tehuti, they would have said other than straight up Sebek, Hetep. Sebek is the trickster, whether it's Hetep or whether it's Tem, right? Sebek will, give you the, the broad stroke, the external. Sebek ain't gonna go deep with you, right? Sebek's gonna give you the portion, not gonna show you the whole, right? So that's that. 62, again, is powerless. Powerless. And the darkness returning in the 44. Alright? Yeah, man. Ain't that nothing? Literally nothing. Alright, so that's that. Hey man, be at peace, right? This stuff is on the outside of you and me, right? We can always retreat to peace, right? There's peace within here. All you gotta do is breathe, you know what I mean? What happens, what's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is, troops run up into your house and blast you away. It's the worst that could happen. Well, I mean, for those of us who, got a clue on what's on the other side, maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe that's not the worst thing, right? Or maybe that's still, the worst thing is still palatable. You get to go back and have peace. You should watch, people with their near-death experiences and how they talk about how it is on the other side, and the love and all of that they are seeing and feeling and all of that stuff. And then they're posed with the question of, should I go back? And a lot of them don't want to come back because, they go back and they go over on the other side and they realize that, it's not what we thought it was. It's not just, we are ending everything ends. No, your spirit keeps on going, your spirit reconnects with the all, right? And there's love on the other side, right? So, I ain't ushering that as the be all end all scenario. I'm just saying, be at peace, because that's the worst that can happen. They kill you and you go back to peace. You know what I'm saying? I said it in my song. I said, you can only kill me from this world. So hopefully I don't get no death right about now, because I got a child. I got to raise my child. But plus I got some good things to give to the people. And yeah, man, we going to rock out like that. So I'm going to say peace and love, man. We're going to get it again. All right? Peace.